Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Fires of MD Now radio show. This is Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. It is December 17th, 2013, and there's a variety of things that I would like to talk about today. First of all, one of them, we're going to be talking about SSRI antidepressants. Now, increasingly in the media and all around me, I'm seeing a stepping up of people crying out about the link between mass violence and carnage and SSRIs. Now, this is interesting because they will put you on these things for just about anything. If a kid runs around too much, if a kid is too quiet, if they're too happy, if you're too sad, if you get angry because you have bills, if you, whatever the case, everything is illness these antidepressants. I know people that have been going to the doctor forever because they have pain issues, and after a while the doctor starts suggesting that they go on antidepressants to deal with the pain. Well, it's obvious to me that that's not going to help anything, but what if it was actually more nefarious than that? What if it was causing people to commit suicide, and just about every time there's a school shooting in the United States or Canada, the kid ends up being on Ritalin or Zoloft or one of these drugs? I'm not an expert, but I can pick up the evidence where I find it and look at it in an impartial light. Now, I'm going to play a clip for you. This is from Fox News, and it's going to start out with a girl begging a 911 operator to help her because her sister's committing suicide. There's going to be a lot of experts talking about what's happening with these drugs. And let's go ahead and roll that clip.
This is 911. Who is this? Where is your sister? What is she trying to do? Take pills?
What?
Is she
No,
trying
my
to...
dad's home now.
Our beautiful little girl Candace died by hanging 4 days after ingesting 100 milligrams of Zoloft.
Matt violently and with great difficulty took his own life.
She ended the night by cutting her wrist.
I found Jacob hanging from the rafter in our attic.
It wasn't the disease that caused my daughter to viciously mutilate herself. It was the drug.
These parents believe the drug companies had evidence there was a risk, but never told them.
I'd like to introduce you to my daughter, Caitlin Elizabeth McIntosh. Well, it's actually only a two-dimensional image of her, but it's all I have left. She died of suicide at age 12 years, 3 months, just 8 weeks after being put on Paxil and then Zoloft.
Our daughter Julie had been excited about college and had scored 1,300 in her SATs several weeks before her death. Instead of picking out colleges with our daughter, my wife and I had to pick out a cemetery plot for her. Instead of looking forward to visiting Julie at school, we now visit her grave.
On September 9, 2001, in a state of confusion and hopelessness, I put a .38 Special Smith & Wesson revolver under my chin and pulled the trigger.
I went from being a shy and mildly depressed but never suicidal kid to being overcome with thoughts of hurting and killing myself while on the SSRI drugs. Thoughts which I acted on.
He told me, I cannot stand the way this drug makes me feel. 2 days later, he committed suicide.
How do you erase the picture of your child trying to run in front of a moving car?
Would you people put your children on this drug? Would you take it yourselves?
A lot of the people who spoke this morning, the picture that was presented of their child or someone they knew was not someone who was very, very ill. It was someone who had relatively minor type findings who were put on these drugs with terrible consequences.
Dr. David Healy is a world-renowned expert on antidepressant drugs, and he joins me in the studio. Thanks for coming in.
Hi. Thank you very much for having me. I actually use drugs to treat people who've got problems with their nerves. I used them when they came out first, and I use them still. And GPs prescribe them in good faith because they think these things are really honest.
Yes.
When in actual fact, they aren't.
I think what's happening is we're not just picking out people who were ill and need to be treated. We've gone way, way beyond that and are actually making people ill.
I want to ask the question of what kind of society have we become when increasingly it seems pharmaceutical companies can get drugs on the market which haven't been shown to work and which have been claimed to be safe and effective when they aren't.
Oh, this is about money. This is not about science.
The pharmaceutical industry has systematically misled physicians and patients.
The bottom line, we don't really know what these drugs are doing in real live human beings. When you look at all of the documents, you see a pattern of misleading doctors who then unwittingly mislead patients. This is a betrayal of the public trust in physicians behind the scenes by the industry, and it must stop.
Harvard psychiatrist Joseph Glenn Mullen consults for lawyers suing antidepressant manufacturers. He prescribes these drugs to patients but says he closely monitors them because he's seen extreme and dangerous reactions in some patients.
People who were not suicidal before I put them on the drug, who very clearly became agitated, sleepless, restlessness, and completely preoccupied with suicidal thoughts. And when I took them off the drug, it went away.
2 years ago, 16-year-old Corey Badsgard took a rifle to his high school and held 23 classmates hostage. Describe around that time how you were feeling.
In the morning, I didn't feel like going to school. I felt sick. Didn't feel like really, like I could get up very well. And so I went back to bed. And next thing I remember, I'm in juvie, in the detention center where I used to live.
And no doubt that the medication did this. I mean, he had amnesia, hallucinations earlier. Abnormal dreams, which are all side effects of the medication.
That morning, Corey was on a mix of antidepressants prescribed for what doctors called situational depression. His father says the pills turned Corey from a sensitive teenage boy to a volatile marauder, susceptible to blind rage.
He was never a violent kid. I mean, he's always been a good kid, loved us, hugged us all. He's never watched violent videos, and until medication, he started, after that, then we realized he was having aggression problems and, was out of character.
At Fox News, we found the Badsgard story with antidepressants compelling, so we investigated further. We found a disturbing number of recent school shooters were either on medication or were experiencing withdrawal. The list includes 15-year-old Kip Kinkle withdrawing from Prozac when he shot 22 classmates, killing 2 after murdering his mother and stepfather at his home in Springfield, Oregon. 18-year-old Jason Hoffman on Effexor and Celexa when he opened fire at his California high school, wounding 5. 15-year-old Sean Cooper on a mix of antidepressants when he shot students in Idaho. 15-year-old T.J. Solomon, also on a mix of antidepressants, when he aimed his shotgun at classmates in Conyers, Georgia, wounding 6. And 17-year-old Eric Harris on Luvox, when he and partner Dylan Klebold killed 12 classmates and a teacher in the bloodiest school massacre yet, Columbine.
One of the things that in the past we have known about depression is that it very, very rarely leads to violence. It's only been since the advent of these new SSRI drugs that we have murderers, sometimes even mass murderers, taking antidepressant drugs.
What's going to happen to you when some months or some years up the road you actually try to halt this drug?
You have these sudden electrical jolts.
Electric shock sensation.
I couldn't walk.
Incredibly fatigued.
I could hardly talk.
I used to get the shakes.
Pins and needles.
Extreme
vertigo.
Violent dizzy spills.
I fainted a couple of times. Chest pains.
I couldn't sleep.
Stomach spasms. Migraine headaches. The nervousness.
Racing thoughts.
Anxiety attacks.
Heightened emotional sensitivity. Crying spells.
I was very angry.
I was in actual physical pain from these zaps. I mean, they just go through your whole body, and it's not only the zaps and getting sick. It just feels like all the panic attacks that you've missed from taking the drug are now bottling out of you like at an uncontrollable rate.
Doctors are told, our drugs don't cause withdrawal. They cause something called discontinuation syndrome, but that's transient and mild. Don't worry about it too much.
Physicians miss that ultimately they're the consumers, but there's this weird market here because I consume by putting pills in your mouth, and you're the one who's going to have to suffer the consequences of things if they go wrong.
I can't stop
Pretty awful, huh? Pretty much speaks for itself. What really jumps out at me is when you have the doctor talking about how these depression never used to lead to violence. People would get depressed periodically. Life's like that. But since these drugs have shown up on the scene, I mean, you know, let's face it, they said it was an antidepressant, right? They didn't say it was going to make you not depressed by making you happy. Instead, it turns into explosive rage. And the list is insane. I mean, you go from Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold that shot up their school in Littleton, Colorado. Jeff Weiss, age 16, prescribed 60 milligrams a day of Prozac, 3 times the average starting dose for adults. When he shot his grandfather's girlfriend, and many fellow students of Red Lake, Minnesota, then shot himself, 10 dead, 12 wounded. Corey Badsgard, age 16, Wahluke Washington State High School. Paxil, which caused him to have hallucinations when he took a rifle to his high school and held 23 classmates hostage. No memory of the event. Seems to me that allowing your kids to go on these drugs, you're almost taking your own life in your own hands. Chris Fetters, age 13, killed his favorite aunt while taking Prozac. Christopher Pittman, age 12, murdered both his grandparents taking Zoloft. Matthew Miller, age 13, hung himself in the bedroom closet after taking Zoloft for 6 days. I've known people that got on some of these drugs, and they told me that the dreams they were having and the things that were happening around them, the way they were perceiving the world, was absolutely insane until they got off it. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. We're going to take your calls on the other side. Hey, we're back. Mike Phillips filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Call in line is 866-582-9933. That's 866-582-9933. Now, we're going to go with Shirley in Santa Cruz. Are you there, Shirley?
Thank you for taking the call. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, I can. Shirley, what's on your mind today?
Well, I'm still struggling with depression, and I was going to take Sammy some months ago, and the doctor had me try, I guess, sweeties and some other stuff, but that didn't seem to help. So I've tried Sammy for about a month and a half, and I'm just wondering if you need several, 2 or 3 or 4 months to get any results on feeling left down. That's the first question, okay? And I just listened to what all that tapes on the...
Yeah.
I don't want to take all the doctor prescriptions. I don't go to the doctor, and I don't want those poisons, especially what they're doing to kids. Yuck.
Absolutely. Okay, here's the thing, Shirley. I'm filling in for Dr. Glidden. I'm not a doctor, but what I want to talk to you about is my own personal experience, okay?
Okay.
You were talking about, how much time does it take, and I honestly don't know, and quite honestly, nobody else knows either, because you're a separate individual, and you've got, I don't know, everything going on. I've heard you on the show before, am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
I'm dealing with that, plus the hip dysplasia or whatever, bone on the hip, and it's getting worse every month, and just can barely walk now, but that's along with the depression.
Right. How long have you been doing this?
Doing what?
The longevity.
I've tried it, and it wasn't getting in, so I kind of went off it, and I'm starting it back, but a lower dosage. I just don't have the money for $400 a month to take all the double stuff. So, and I didn't really do the Smart FX for long, so I don't know if the Smart FX would be helpful or something like SAMI. And they say, I just talked to Dr. Wallach this morning, but he's all into getting gluten-free, which I haven't been successful at doing, but I'm working on it.
Well, I'm not going to go against anything that Dr. Wallach said. I know that, I said, I was going to get into a little bit of my own experience.
Well, that's good. Let's go there, please.
Yeah, well, my wife and I, we got on these products about 2 years and some months ago, okay?
Okay.
And when we first started out, we were just using the Tangy Tangerine. That's it.
Uh-huh.
And we got results right off the bat, okay? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until over time, like we didn't follow the 10 bad food list really. Mm-hmm. And over time, as we went on with longevity, we've been just tweaking different areas of our life. Mm-hmm. And to try and get it closer and closer and closer to the guidelines. And as we did, like I said, it's been over 2 years now, and still to this day, I'm feeling different things change, just with my energy levels, my sleep patterns, my attitude towards life. It's been, because I'm almost 40, right? So there I give away how old I am. But it took about 2 years to really start fixing a whole lot of things for me. Now, if there's financial challenges with that, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to overcome, and I totally understand that. But if you can get on board with the business end of it, it didn't take me very long to where I had signed up enough people and helped enough people around me to where my supplements were paid for. And that's the other thing. Like, I haven't paid for a longevity product out of my own pocket in probably, a year and a half. So if you could, if you really want to look into that aspect of it, that could really help you out. You know what I mean? So that you could, I just bought my ownership's worth around $400, mm-hmm. right? And if you can get yourself to that point, that would be a good thing. What I would suggest to you is that you don't lose hope, and that you keep taking steps every day to get closer to, following it the way the person's supposed to. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I was trying the money aspect at first, and I can't even get people to agree that supplements are important. I
know what you mean. And now they're saying in the news that vitamins don't work.
Oh yeah, that's so ridiculous. I've always believed in supplements, and we were with something called Omnutrition years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear the music, and that means we're going to go to a break. Okay. But we'll come back to you on the other side, Shirley, and then we're going to go to Yvette and Henry. Don't go away. We'll be back. We're back on the Fire Your MD Now radio show. Mike Phillip filling in for Dr. Peter Glidden. And before the break, we were talking to Shirley in Santa Cruz, and you were just saying to me, Shirley, it's hard to find people that actually believe you about medical nutrition, and that's not being made any easier by mainstream media running around toting these phony baloney studies saying that vitamins, minerals, and amino and fatty acids don't actually help people. And you know what? I totally sympathize with you, because I'm kind of a loud guy, and I'm not shy even a little bit. When I talk to somebody, I'm kind of talking to everybody in the whole area. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Dr. Glidden talks about that parable with the sower and the seeds. It's going to be a very small percentage at first of people that can hear this message. I've had people tell me, you're going to kill me telling me to take that much cholesterol, because they just buy into it, but their health is getting worse all the time. And at the same time as they're asking me what they should do, the answer that you should do the opposite of what you've been doing the whole time is too difficult for them to accept. But that's only the beginning stages. That's what I believe. And, right where I live around here, Alberta is considered the multiple sclerosis capital of the world per capita. And I figure all I've got to do is get a few people to take their health and their life into their own hands and reverse it, and the word's going to catch on no matter what anybody says. In the beginning, it's usually a small amount of people that affect a big change in their community. Tell me this, Shirley, do you have people around you, like a good crew of people that are using longevity and obviously somebody?
No, I've got nobody around me. I have a supplier I've gone to, but and they've been helpful. That's how I got this number to call Dr. Glidden some months ago. And the stuff just wasn't getting absorbed, and I still don't know how much is. So I've got to get gluten-free, and I don't know if that'll do it either. But I just, like I said, if people can see me walking again, they'll believe. But I'm going downhill every day. I've got 25 years on top of years, so I've got. I've been having trouble for years. It's been going downhill slowly, but it's rapidly going downhill to where.
Well, listen, Shirley, if Dr. Wallach told you to ditch the gluten, chances are it'll probably be a game changer. I mean, we're talking about a guy with 1 million blood works and 25,000 autopsies under his belt. And it's interesting when you listen to his show, just about anybody that calls in, no matter what they want to talk about, the first thing he asks them is if they have skin conditions like rosacea, or what he's doing, he's probing to find out if there's a gluten intolerance or if it's being consumed. So come hell or high water, Shirley, you're going to have to go gluten-free, and everybody's got their own battle to face. Lord knows I had mine when I started out with this. I guess it's a way of life, really. But over the years, things have gotten better for me. Now, what I'd like you to do, Shirley, is keep in touch with Dr. Glidden, keep in touch with Dr. Wallach, try to do exactly what Dr. Wallach said. And I would really like to hear back from you, Shirley, when things are better. I want to hear a good report from you. All right, Shirley?
Okay, I'm looking forward to that, Terry.
I am, too. You take care of yourself, all right?
Thank you much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to go over to Yvette in Las Vegas. How are you? How you doing?
Okay, I'd like to tell you, I'm in the process of passing a kidney stone, and I wanted to know if there's anything else that I could do for myself other than what I'm taking. I'm on the heart and brain pat. As of yesterday, I doubled up on the osteo, the BTT. You know, I already take the selenium per Dr. Wallach's instructions at 3 caps twice a day, and then the EFA Plus and the EFA Regular, and it's making its way down because I'm laying down right now, and I've been laying down for about an hour now. It's just really wearing me down. It hasn't passed yet, but it's making its way, and I just wonder if there's something else other than what I'm taking.
I am not an expert in this field. You know what? I remember hearing another call. I was with Dr. Glidden, and he had told them about, it was called Berberis vulgaris or something like that, to go to a local health food store and get that, and it would dilate the tract and help it pass easier. I really honestly don't know what to tell you, and I'm not going to BS you. That's not what I'm here for. If you can call back when Dr. Glidden's on, I know that he had a way of dealing with that. What you could do, though, have you got a computer there?
Yeah, I do.
All right, go to fireyourmdnow.com and click on radio show, and there's a search. Okay? And if you just put in the search bar, passing a kidney stone, you'll find a segment of the show where Dr. Glidden talks to somebody about the same issue and offers them some better advice than I could give you. I'm not a doctor at all. What I am is a radio show host, and I fill in for Dr. Glidden when he can't make it. I also deal in longevity, so, I can tell people what I've learned through that. But this specifically, you're going to have to go to the source, and I know he's got some. I've heard it on the show before. So just do your best to look it up on Dr. Glidden's site, okay?
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you more, Yvette, but if you look in the right places, I'm sure you'll find an answer, and I hope things go good for you, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Take care. Now we're going to go over to Henry in Pensacola, Florida. How you doing, Henry?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Sorry, what was that, Henry?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Well, I'm doing great, man. I love your accent. What's going on in Pensacola, Florida, Henry? I bet you it's a lot warmer there than it is here.
Well, it's real cold today. I've been taking the immunocare. No. Cataracts. I got some cataracts coming on my eye. I'm trying to think. What longevity? Yeah, what can I do for it?
You're taking longevity?
No.
No? Okay, so no. Who's there with you?
Irma?
How are you doing?
Irma is here with him.
I'm having a bit of a hard time hearing you. We might have a bad connection here, but you're talking about cataracts there, Henry.
Yes.
Anytime I've heard Dr. Glidden talk about eye health, the big one that comes up is selenium. Selenium. And, of course, the mighty 90 for life, 90 minerals, vitamins, and amino and fatty acids. So what you're going to have to do is what I would do, let's put it this way, to support and promote the healthy structure and function of your eye and its healing, is get on the 90 for life and bombard it with selenium. And if it were me, I would also be taking the Z radical for the stem cell stimulating properties of the sea vegetable fucoid, and I've been taking it for some time, and my vision is like HD, man. I swear I can pick out little pieces of cloud I can see in the window of an airplane passing overhead. My eyes are so good. Listen, if you want to get hooked up with these products, okay, and talk to somebody about it, do you got a pen?
Yeah, I got it.
Great. I'm going to give you a phone number. It's a 1-800 number, and there's going to be a member of Team Glidden there to help you through this, all right? It's 1-800 705.
Irma can do it for me.
I'm sorry, Henry. What was that?
Irma can do it for me. No. The number
1-800-705-6892. That's 1-800-705-6892. And you're going to get somebody in my network of people on the line, and they're going to walk you through this. All right?
Okay.
And you're going to be glad you did. How did you hear about this show, Henry?
Irma told me.
Okay, right on. Listen, I'm going to have to let you go because we got a bad connection. But what I want you to do is call that number, 1-800-705-6892. And listen, that goes for the rest of you out there. If you're listening to this radio show and you don't like the idea of calling into a radio show and being public like that, you're kind of a shy person, maybe you're a little more private or whatever, you can call this number, 1-800-705-6892. And what you'll get is a member of Team Glidden on the other line, and they will walk you through whatever you need to do. And if you want to talk to me, you can shoot me an email at mike@teamglidden.ca. That's mike@teamglidden.ca, and I will get back to you. Now, before I took those calls, we were talking about these SSRI antidepressants and the fact that violent outbursts have been linked to them. Interesting, right? I mean, they push it on us. They push it on our kids. They want to... they want to get everybody on these things, and it's a profitability game is all it is. You know what I mean? It's just profits. We're going to take another call here. Dawn in Florida. Can you hear me, Dawn?
Yes, I can.
Hey, Dawn, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'll tell you what, this is the second call in a row I've gotten from Florida. It's getting me a little bit depressed here because all I see is white when I look outside.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay warm. It's about maybe going on 70 now.
Well, you're not beating polar bears off your garbage with a hockey stick yet, are you?
not yet.
Okay, well, that's where I'm at. So you're doing good. So what's going on, Dawn?
Well, I just have, I apologize for the lack of information. A friend of mine just wanted me to call in. She has a friend of hers that has a brain tumor that's inoperable, and that's all the information that I have. So I apologize for the lack of information.
Okay, that's fine. Are they listening right now?
I don't know, but we're going to send it to her.
Okay. What if it were me, based on everything I've learned from listening to Dr. Wallach and Dr. Glidden and, private conversations and whatnot, inoperable brain tumor, what I would do is bombard it with a high ORAC value. Get this person to where they're getting around 20,000 ORAC points a day to 40 to 50. We've got a few different products here. The Tangy Tangerine, right, which is part of the Healthy Start Pack, which would give her 8,000 a day. And there's a few other things I'd like to get into with you, but I hear the music. We're coming up on a break here, Dawn. I'm going to talk to you on the other side, all right?
Great. Thank you.
You bet. We're back live on We're talking to Dawn in Florida, and she's calling for a friend of a friend who has a brain tumor or wants information on it. And I was just suggesting that she up her ORAC value. The best thing, in my opinion, based on what I know, is get her taking some high ORAC supplements. There's a Healthy Start Pack, which is, base, boom, right there. You need that without anything else, for sure. 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. Also, I would highly recommend the Z-Radical and the Healthy Chocolate, the Triple Treat Chocolate. See, that Triple Treat Chocolate's got the highest ORAC value out of just about anything you can take. And what that does is it recycles glutathione in your body to fight cancerous cells. And you want to get that person on the 10 bad food list as soon as possible. Get them off of gluten. Get them off of oil, any kind of oil in a bottle. Get them off of anything that Dr. Wallach's research has shown to cause inflammation and unhealthy cell growth. So, Dawn, tell me this. How do you know about this show? Are you involved with Youngevity at all?
Yeah, I just started Youngevity a couple of months ago, and I'm loving it, and I'm really enjoying it.
What's happened for you, Dawn?
Wow. Well, I've lost weight. I don't get depressed anymore. I feel more of a balance as far as just knowing that my body's getting all 90.
Yeah.
I have more energy. The list goes on and on. I'm noticing that I don't have as much gray hair. My hair seems to be getting dark again.
You know what? I've seen that in several people. My aunt, her hair was graying up and it went dark. My friend Gordy, he was kind of a roadie for a rock and roll band that I played in, touring around. And he was getting really bad gray hair, and it's darkening up now, and it's just amazing what happens to people when they're properly nutritionalized. Now, tell me this, Dawn, are you an insider with Dr. Glidden? Do you have access to his webinars?
I don't have access, but I'm thinking about getting it this month. He has a special this month, right?
I think so, yeah. Hey, I'll tell you what. Just if you want, what I can do, why don't you shoot me an email at mike@teamglidden.ca. That's mike@teamglidden.ca. And I'll send you a link to a couple of the webinars so that you can take a look at them and see what you're getting. But you know what? These are absolutely phenomenal. Like phenomenal. Yeah. The information that you're able to derive out of the archives is just awesome. And here's the other deal. If you're interested in building a business with Youngevity, it's a great way to do it. For instance, Dr. Glidden has a live webinar on Friday night And what we've done is told our whole downline, if you have anybody that has any questions whatsoever about anything, give us a call or stop by and bring them. Sorry, we're going to have a meeting. And so, they don't all have to have it, but nobody can explain this stuff better than Dr. Glidden except for maybe Dr. Wallach.
Right.
And,
so they can just cam up in the webinar and listen in on the webinar. Is that right?
Yeah, right. And so,
yeah.
Absolutely. Like I've learned so much. And, just between you and me, like I was saying to that other caller, I have had so many areas of my life just gradually come together. Dr. Glidden talks about eating 10 eggs a day if you can, and all these different things with the diet. Well, the fact is the diet is just as important as the supplements you're taking. And it takes some people a while to get on board with that diet, right?
Right.
It is difficult. I'll admit that. But as you do, things will get better and better. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll send you a couple of webinars so you can check them out. And then you go from there. But I highly suggest becoming an insider, and let's see if we can help your friend out.
Great. Thank you.
Betcha. We'll be back after these messages.
Okay.